Florenzi, De Rossi also return, and the Czech striker Schick makes way for Under, the Turkish international winger. So there it is. By the Umbrella Brothers, co-commentators Glenn Hoddle and Steve McManaman. Steve, we wanted this place to be buzzing with the atmosphere there was in the City game. Is this going to dampen it? We wanted the Romans to feel like they were being thrown to the lions.
Yeah, well, as you can, no doubt the cameras are panned, and a lot of the Roma fans are in already, trying to make an atmosphere. Liverpool fans are a little bit more quiet than they were in the quarter-final game against Manchester City, and rightly so. They're just undercover. They're probably having the last few pints of lubrication before they get out and sing their hearts out.
They'll need to stoke it up. What about Mo Salah tonight? Is he going to need a little bit of protection? Because some threats of friendly kicking happening tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it must be nice for him to face his old team, especially in this tournament in such a latter stage, because of course he's got a lot of friends there. But he's been truly professional this year. He's been an example for Liverpool. He's been an incredible season, and let's see if he can keep it going just for a few more games.
The Roma side look like they're lining up as a 3-4-2-1. What does that mean to this tactical battle?
Well, I think they're trying to overload that midfield a little bit. They're going to have to look after the fullbacks of Liverpool at some stage, so they will vacate that area. But I don't care how many players are in there. If those three Englishmen play like they did against City...
Full English breakfast
in that midfield. They were outstanding. Milner, Henderson and Oxlade-Chamberlain. They were absolutely brilliant. And if they're anywhere like that again, then they'll cope. Yeah. Because this is a pitch that you can press really hard on this pitch with the surface as it is. It's going to be a hell of a tempo.
If they start with that same tempo, wasn't it, and the pace, and they use their speed, they'll run through them tonight.
All right. Thanks, gentlemen. We're going to use this as a hat, trying to hide out from away from the rain. Back to you, Gary.
England manager with the brolly. Happened once, didn't it? Liverpool team, no surprises there.
Not at all, and I think Milner deserves to stay in there. There was talking maybe Milner or Wijnaldum. Wijnaldum's a good player, but I think Milner's performances over the two legs against City, he was probably the first name on the team sheet for me.
Frank?
Brilliant. You could not play him tonight. The energy he brings to the team. And I think energy in midfield is huge. I touched on it there, the lads. I think De Rossi, very good, 34 years of age. Strootman, they're not known for their legs. Yeah. And if they can create the energy that they've been creating in midfield with those the English lads in there, then they've got a real chance.
Oxlade-Chamberlain's really emerged as a central midfield player.
Yeah, he's been fantastic since he's come in. I think Klopp's handling of him has been tremendous in the way that he's brought him in. I think Stevie mentioned it before in the Winnebago about talking about bringing him here, letting him see what the tactics are about. And what I love about him as a defender, when the opposing midfielder turns and breaks the lines and starts running at you, that creates panic. And then after that, it's about decision making. And at the moment, he's making the right decision time and time again. He receives the ball and goes direct and straight at the heart of the defence of the opposing team. And that just causes panic, and people don't know how to react when that comes to midfield. And that's a trait that's not often seen in the game at the moment.
I love how direct he is. I love his power. I love his speed. I think he's really growing in a Liverpool shirt, and what he does, he gives you the lovely blend in the middle. Henderson's your leader, Milner's the industry and the hard work, and he's that bit of class to connect the midfield to the attack.
I think midfield players, the opposite midfield players, do not want to defend. They hate it when people run beyond them. They hate when you dribble them and face them up and run past you, or they hate it when you run from midfield. He can find himself in space if he runs and arrives in the box tonight.
A young man we talked about previously, we've been very impressed by Trent Alexander-Arnold. We've talked about his defensive aptitude, but going forward as well, he's been very impressive, really.
Yeah, and you've seen his clip series delivery is up there with the best at the moment in the way he can play the ball. He sees the ball almost as a midfielder in some of the areas he gets it, but his delivery on the run there as a young kid identifies what he needs to do, hit a certain area and put defenders under pressure, and opposing teams find it difficult defending when it's like that. He defended in that game against Sane, one of the better players in the league, one of the best young players about, unbelievably. But this is the area of his game that I think sets him apart from the England fullbacks at the moment. His delivery look at this ball here. This is like a Steven Gerrard ball when he's pumped over the defender. What a finish! I mean, I think he's got so many different strings to his bow that he can keep utilising and grow on and keep working. And as Stevie mentioned before in the Winnebago again, he's a sponge. He wants to learn, and that's a great trait to have.
Can I just say that the Winnebago, this is not a Winnebago, this is a studio, it's just where we get ready before.
It's the green room, the green room.
The green room, that's probably a better way to describe it. Edin Dzeko's enjoying his time in Rome. The former Manchester City striker has 20 goals to his name this season, but hopes the best is yet to come.
This year was very good for the club, because we arrived in the semi-final of the Champions League, which nobody expected.
Dzeko, wow! Edin Dzeko, fair
When you see the group that we had, obviously everyone expected that we go out with Atletico Madrid and Chelsea, but we believe that we can go past that group. But then against Barcelona, you don't expect much.
Over the top again for Dzeko, who's in for Roma and scores!
We somehow did beat even them, so now we're in the semis, but I think we definitely deserve to be there. We know Liverpool, especially we know Momo Salah, who is their best player, who played last 2 years here with us, and it's such a shame that he left. I think Italy did well for him because he learned a lot here, I think, and now we can see it pays off for him. But Momo is a great player and also a great guy, and he deserves all of it. I wish him to score and to break the Premier League record with the goals, but in the semis he can rest a little bit. I've spent 4.5 amazing years at City, won some trophies as well, so I'm proud of that. Obviously everyone expected City to go and try to win it in the Champions League, but what they did in the league is just not normal for the Premier League, and it will be difficult to beat City even next season. I watch all the games, all the leagues. I know almost all the players from all the leagues, you know, so I'm just like obsessed with football, and it's my life. Football is my life. Scoring goals, for me, it's something special, and when I score the goal, there's nothing that can compare to that. In semi-finals, there are no favorites. Liverpool wanted to play Roma, I'm sure of that, but I don't think it will be an easy game, not for them and not for us. Anfield, one of the most popular stadiums in the world, definitely, and we like to play also when the crowd is there close and when the atmosphere is good, so we're definitely prepared for that.
You spent a while with him at Manchester City, of course. Frank, he's a handful.
He was a great striker. It was a year that he was sort of faded out of the team slightly at the time, so he had a difficult time, but he was talking about moving, and I had no doubt when he went to Roma that he was going to be successful because he's got all the attributes. He's big, he's quick, but the most impressive thing for me is his finishing. He can do every type of finish. He's great in the air. We saw probably one of the goals of the Champions League there against Chelsea this season. That's why he'll be such a threat. And he's a good lad. He'll work the line. He'll do everything for the team. So top striker, their main threat, obviously, over these two games.
He's certainly a handful for Barcelona in the last round, that's for sure. It looks like Roma are going to play with the three at the back. Is that wise against Liverpool, or what do you think, Rio?
If the fullbacks aren't too detached from them three, if the fullbacks are within touching, or 10, 15 yards maximum, to cover the gaps and it's the wide areas. And the problem, I think, for Roma is Fazio and Juan Jesus is actually them wide areas. When they've got to go out and face up with Salah or Mane, who are the quickest guys on the pitch, I think Fazio especially is going to struggle. And I think if I'm in the Liverpool dressing room now and the front, all I'm thinking about is getting the ball to the front three and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain joining too and getting against that back three, because they're not quick enough, they're not mobile enough to deal with them.
In which case it would be a busy night for Alisson in goal, and he's been linked with Liverpool, of course. Looks like another expert Brazilian goalkeeper. He's keeping Ederson out of the national team, so he can't be bad.
Yeah, he must be a great goalie. I haven't really seen that much of him, Gary, but there has been a lot of speculation. But what I would say is, you know, the Liverpool keeper Karius has settled down a lot. He's been playing really well, keeping clean sheets, but this fella does deserve, you know, the praise that he is getting of late. He makes world-class saves. He's up quick. He makes second saves. Look at this one, top corner. That's got goal written all over it, and he claws it out. So a world-class keeper, no doubt.
Do you still think Liverpool will be chasing a goalkeeper because there's talk of him?
I think it depends on what happens with Simon Mignolet. If Simon wants to stay about, or whether he wants to go and get game time, because, you know, Jurgen's come out and said that Karius is the #1 and he's been doing a lot better of late. But he will want 2 top-class keepers in.
OK. It's a massive week of European football, of course, on BT Sport. We continue building up to Liverpool-Roma after the break. But tomorrow we're in Munich for the 25th meeting in Europe between Bayern and Real Madrid. We start from 7 o'clock on BT Sport 2. Arsene Wenger will hope to end his time at Arsenal with a trophy. The only one he can win is the Europa League, and we're at the Emirates on Thursday for their semi-final with Atletico Madrid. Coverage begins from 7:30 on BT Sport 2 and 4K UHD. The other semi-final between Marseille and Salzburg starts from 8 on BT Sport 3. Coming up, we'll hear from Jurgen Klopp and the skipper Jordan Henderson on what is a huge night for Liverpool Football Club. The atmosphere is building. Anfield is expectant. We'll see you after this short break.
This programme was brought to you by Heineken and this programme is brought to you by Heineken and Gazprom, UEFA Champions League sponsor.
Welcome to Anfield for this Champions League semi-final between two sides that in the quarters left us speechless.
Roma have risen from their ruins!
Liverpool and Roma are within touching distance of Kiev and the Champions League final. It's a stage they've shared before. For Liverpool, it was number 4.
Liverpool are European champions!
Anfield is made for moments like these.
Even if we're just dancing in the dark.
Welcome along. For those just joining us here at Anfield, the teams arrived about half an hour ago for this huge Champions League night. As expected, the Liverpool fans packed the surrounding areas like they did against Manchester City in the quarter-final to give their side a welcome that befits the occasion. Roma's coach arrived unscathed, you'll be glad to hear, as will the players. Roma, who caused that massive upset, didn't they, when they came back from behind against Barcelona. Big stars in the Roma team. Don't underestimate them. Liverpool's fans have waited 10 years to reach a semi-final again. It's their 10th in all on Europe's biggest stage as far as club competitions go. In the previous 9, they've made the final 7 times. And if they're to make it to Kiev, they'll need to make the most of the first leg here on Merseyside, as they did in their thrilling win here against Manchester City. It's been a quite magnificent Champions League so far. The quarter-final stage was one of the most incredible ever seen in the competition's history. What lies in store here at Anfield tonight? Liverpool, the five-time winners, take on Roma in the first leg of this Champions League semi-final. Kick-off is at 7:45. With us tonight, 3 men who know everything about these huge nights. 3 winners: Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard and Rio Ferdinand. Huge occasion. It's hard. You can't really underestimate it, can you?
Not at all. It's massive. Looking through the Liverpool starting 11, it's the biggest night of their careers so far, and they have to deliver. It's very important that they bring a similar type of performance like they did against Manchester City and try and set the second leg up.
Is it difficult to keep repeating that kind of performance, though, Frank?
Oh yeah, it is to sustain it, of course, but they've set a great standard now, so you know what it takes, you know you have it in you, which is a great thing. And I think with this Liverpool team, it's not just about the front 3, but when you know you have that much quality up front, and they've got a real great structure to them at the minute, they're confident, they're not conceding like they were early in the season, there's a confidence running through the club, so yes, I believe they can carry on with it.
I think a huge part for this Liverpool team, and which makes it difficult for every team playing against them at this stage of the season, is they've found a way that suits them to play. They've understood what the manager wants, and they know now, based on experience, what it needs to get over the line and really pulverise teams, which is what they're doing at Anfield at the moment. And I think what they've got here in their favour is they're playing against a very experienced Roma team, but a team that is lacking mobility, and that is something that plays into this Liverpool team's hands.
It's not a team lacking in character, though, because their comeback against Barcelona was, no one really saw that coming, did they? It was one of the greatest in the competition's history, Steve.
Yeah, and you've got to give them credit. You know, Dzeko was a handful all night. That's an excellent ball by De Rossi, great touch and a great finish, and that gave them a bit of momentum. The crowd was superb on the night, but I think we were all shocked come the end of the night. We didn't expect it. We just thought it was a foregone conclusion that Barca were going to qualify, so they deserve all the credit and plaudits they get.
And we saw a similar thing with Juve coming back against Real Madrid, but they didn't quite make it, but Roma did, Real.
Yeah, and that, again, experience and that home fans, the way that they can generate such an atmosphere is key, and I think we've spoken about it here. It's whoever deals with the away arena best will go through here, and I think the Liverpool boys, I think that they've got a steeliness about them that I see at the moment in the way they're playing, and I'll make them favourites genuinely.
There was a nice touch from the Roma players yesterday. They came to Anfield and they laid a wreath, obviously, towards the 96 of Hillsborough. It was a lovely touch, wasn't it?
A lovely touch and a really special gesture. And I know the club and the fans will really appreciate that. But I think that shows the class of Roma Football Club. You know, to be that thoughtful, especially around such a big occasion, really, really good.
Yeah, certainly was. Time to go pitch side. Des Kelly is down there for us. Des.
Thanks very much, Gary. I'm here with a gentleman you may recognise, Alan Kennedy. The sight of this trophy, does this bring back happy memories of 1984 and that amazing end to the European Cup final?
Yeah, it does, and it was a great experience, certainly for me, and how I ever ended up in the penalty shootout, I'll never know, but it was a fantastic
Ready, huge night, of course, here at Anfield this morning. They know it. And you can see the Liverpool skipper there, Jordan Henderson. He's now in his 7th season on Merseyside, and he knows just how important this game is.
Being in the semi-final of the Champions League is huge for any player. Certainly probably the biggest game in my career so far. It's a massive game, but you've got to focus on what's important, what your role is, what your job is for the team. A European night when you're coming in and the crowd are on the streets and they're singing the songs and you're driving into Anfield, it's a really special feeling that you get and an extra buzz, and we certainly felt that in the City game. Obviously the atmosphere will be electric, but yeah, I feel as though this is the start of something great with this team. You know, the manager has created something really special, and I feel as though we're going in the right direction. We're moving forward, and hopefully we've got bigger nights to come.
Liverpool, against all odds, have won the Champions League.
Do you feel the hand of history on your shoulder?
I think definitely take inspiration from the past and what's gone before. Creating our own history as a team. So in 20, 30 years' time, we're looking back at this team.
Salah, 31 in the Premier League, 41 across all competitions.
He's a great person to have in the dressing room, very funny, he's always joking around, and he gets on with everyone. He's a special person and a special player, and hopefully he can continue his form for a long time, and obviously the next few games are big for us, so it would be great if he could continue that and keep doing what he's been doing and scoring the goals.
You're the captain. Have you allowed yourself to have that little dream where you lift the trophy?
Everyone dreams, but you can't look too far ahead. You just got to focus on the next step, the next challenge, and give everything you've got, and then it gives you a better chance of succeeding in the end.
There is Anfield from the sky. It's going to be electric here come kick-off, that's for sure. Jordan Henderson, Stephen, I mean, obviously he took over the captain's armband from your good self. He divides opinion a little bit.
I think amongst some supporters he does, but certainly not from me. You know, I've played with Jordan, I know what he's about. He's a very humble kid, very selfless, works his socks off. I think he's a Klopp-type player, that energy, that pressing, that regaining the ball. And I believe this Liverpool team is stronger with him in the team. I think he needs a moment. I think he needs a trophy just to get over that line, to really get them few supporters that are maybe not on his side, right on side. Because if he delivers this Champions League, he'll be a legend here forever.
Certainly will. Mohamed Salah will be, that's for sure. I think the way he's going, I mean, it's a massive kind of jump in form. I mean, I've heard Roma players over the last couple of days saying they're genuinely surprised at his numbers.
And I don't think that's necessarily negative. I think just what he's done is so extreme, so incredible. To come, I mean, he's been at Chelsea, obviously, he didn't play much, so we'll kind of leave that for a moment. But to come to this league, the most competitive league in the world, and to achieve the numbers, the quality he's done. I mean, that's why he won the PFA Player of the Year, because of the uplift he personally has given this club. He's given them a newfound confidence that they can actually perform at this level and go and win this Champions League. Individually, what he's brought to this club this year, he deserves every single accolade. He's put himself up there with the very best, you know. And I'm not comparing him to Ronaldo and Messi. That's ridiculous for anyone probably, yeah. But he's certainly put himself up towards that bracket. If he keeps on this form, then you would comfortably talk about him like that.
It's been a breath of fresh air here.
Yeah, he has. Everyone who talks about him, a special person, great guy to have around. But more importantly, as you've seen from these clips here, that the variation in his goals and his finishing, that's what sets him apart. And as a defender, I sit there and think, how do you stop him? You get too close, he's strong as you like, He's got nimble. He's nimble on his feet, can twist and turn.
Why do you think it is that he's suddenly found this unbelievable range of finishing, though? Because that's
down to confidence.
Before.
I think you know, as a striker, and the guys here were great finishers themselves. I think it's all down to confidence. You see these stats here that he's producing. It's mind-boggling, and I think that when you hit a bit of form and that confidence comes, you elevate yourself as a player again, even probably beyond what you even dreamed of yourself at times. And he's doing that. He's doing that consistently. And now we set a benchmark. And it's important next year. We'll see if he can remain at this level.
Yeah, I mean, given the nature of Roma's defensively, I mean, unlike a lot of Italian sides from the past, away from home in particular, they are a little bit weak. 26 consecutive games they've conceded goals, which is the second worst run in Champions League history.
Well, it's this high line, and they're playing a very dangerous game if they come and try and go toe-to-toe with Liverpool today, because if they make mistakes like this against Liverpool, this could be Firmino, for example, on the ball here, who's got the vision and the ability to find the likes of Salah. And if this defender lets Salah come back on his left foot like he did here, Salah will finish and put Roma to the sword. So it's going to be really intriguing on what type of shape
you think they'll play high? I mean, here at Anfield?
I think they're playing a very risky game, Gary.
Listen, I think the stuff we're seeing here, if they do play this way, as in being a slightly casual in possession of the ball in those midfield areas with a high line, is suicidal. You know, I don't think they can do it. I think they'll go back to being that sort of stereotypical Italian team. There might not be that much beauty today. They might say, we are going to be very hard to beat. Maybe try and kill this game a little bit in terms of the thing of beauty and take a result back home.
I made a point of watching press conferences before games, and I listened when I played to see if I could take anything from it for the game. And yesterday's press conference, and their manager spoke about being bold and playing the same way. Maybe a different formation will be bold and play the same way, and that means a high line. And so the guys in this Liverpool dressing room, if they've seen it, they'll be sitting there confident, I'm telling you.
OK, time for another break. Still so much more to come. We'll hear from Jurgen Klopp when we return. As always, he's out there watching the opposition at close quarters ahead of kick-off. And if his Liverpool side are to put one foot in Kiev, he'll need to find a way of keeping this man quiet.
One of the best number 9s in Europe at the moment. Over the top again for Dzeko, who's in for Roma and scores! Now there! And that's brilliant! Wonderful finish by Edin Dzeko! No one's stopping that. He's had one chance, Edin Dzeko, and he's taken it. He's in magnificent form. This place is rocking and rumbling. That's brilliant. Roma's number 9. Absolutely ruthless from Edin Dzeko. Wow! Roma emerge here, daring to consider a modern epic. Over the top again for Xhaka, who scores! This place is rocking and rumbling, unbelieving. And in Xhaka, it could be, it just could be here. The Greek god in Rome, the unthinkable unfolds before our eyes.
Great piece of commentary there from Peter Drury. This is Anfield tonight, and boy, does this place expect a big performance from the Liverpool players. But, you know, they've got wily competitors in Roma. They did it, didn't they, against all the odds we just saw against Barcelona. And De Rossi and Dzeko and Kolarov, and lots of experience in that side this evening. Can't take them for granted.
No, not at all. I think that's what Liverpool have got to be careful of. They don't, waltz into this game and think it's going to be straightforward. They've got some top players within the ranks, a good manager who's got them organised. As I said earlier, I'm intrigued to see what the plan is, whether they are going to play with the high line or whether they're going to try and protect and take the game into the second leg. But there's no doubt about it, Roma are here and deserve to be here. They can't afford to have another performance like Barcelona, because you can't keep doing them comebacks all the time.
No, they can't. Plenty of Roma fans, as you can see, inside the stadium. But it's time now to hear from Jurgen Klopp, who spoke with Des Kelly a short while ago.
Jurgen, another big European occasion. What would constitute success for you this evening? What do you want to see?
First of all, a good game, and then, of course, a result which we can work with. So, but I think we cannot get a result without a good game. So that's it, and it's a strong side, and obviously you can see immediately a little bit of the rules of the competition, not changing system, but playing the same system like they played against Barcelona. So big honour, and it's all good, and it will be exciting. So it's nothing decided now. It's a really open game. Two strong sides. We go through that, through the lineup of them. That's a mix-up of experience, youth, skills, threat, everything. That's how it is. If you go through our lineup, it's pretty much the same. So that's how a semi-final should be.
How vital is it not to concede an away goal?
Yeah, of course, it's cool, but you never go in a game and think about conceding goals and think, okay, it would be okay. At the end, we have to take the result. We always play our football, and we don't want to concede, but we want to score as well. So, but never on the cost of a leaky defense or whatever. So we have, we know exactly. It's April. We work together since July or June even, and then so we know how we want to have to play the game. But at the end, it's there's a ball, other 11 players from the other side, and you have to you need to have answers for all the things. You need to learn from the game. That's the thing. And but it would be nice if you don't concede a goal, but if you then don't score, that doesn't make life much better. So then you can say it's 0-0, but you go to Rome, they didn't concede there so far, and then everybody will tell me, so how we want to win that now? So so that's how it is. We don't think about the result in the moment. We think about the performance, what we have to do, and hopefully we can bring that on the pitch.
You like a joke. The good news is it won't be a dry pitch tonight.
Yeah, greetings to Birmingham. That was not the best mood that day.
Yeah, certainly won't be a dry pitch this evening. It's been raining pretty much all day in Liverpool, but as you can see from these pictures now, Anfield is full to bursting. Young and old supporters have come tonight, and they've got so much history in this competition, haven't they, Liverpool Football Club? Frank, big night, big atmosphere.
Huge night, and I think Jurgen Klopp, just listening to that, he's too good. There's no way he will let these Liverpool players think this isn't a tough game, this isn't a huge semi-final. I think he'll have them all ready to go. If Liverpool can reproduce the form that we saw against Manchester City, I do expect them to win this game and put potentially 1 foot into the final. OK,
well, Anfield is ready. Liverpool and Roma are 180 minutes away from Kiev and the Champions League final. Who will strike first? Kick-off comes after the break.